Okay, folks, I'm up on a hilltop. This is out in Frigate Bay, and this is, I think, the nicest area of St. Kitts, which I mentioned to you before. The area that I'm in, of course, most of these properties in Frigate Bay are all titled property. You've also got what's called deed of assurance, which is it's freehold, but it's not title property and won't qualify for citizenship. And so you don't want to get those if you're trying to get citizenship. If you do, you won't qualify for the passport. So this is what you got to look at. We're looking at here towards the Southeast Peninsula. That's going all the way towards Nevis. And this is an area that that are single family homes. There is no gated area up here. I always tell people, if you really want the best, where you're going to have the least time that you're going to be spending in it, is pick a gated area. There are only 3 gated areas in St. Kitts. We've got one property over there now in a gated area that's it's about 40% off the marketing price. So that's what you want to be looking for, gated, because what happens is when you take off and leave, you don't have to worry about keeping the place up. The security is real good, and it's just, you're not, what's time is money. What's your time in trying to get people to clean the yard up and stuff like that? You want to come in and not have to worry about this, and it's all taken care of. And the maintenance fees are actually quite low there too. But you're going to pay maintenance fees anyway if you do it yourself, or if you hire someone or get in a gated area. It's just that, somebody else is dealing with that. You're not having to mess with it. Also, folks, so you can do us a big favor. We don't monetize our channel here. If you want more videos like this, just hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And also, if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up. That helps us get more videos out to people. And this is the Atlantic side. You can see here, going all the way out. And then I'm going to go right over here. This is how close, you got like a thin strip of land over the Southeast Peninsula that splits the Atlantic from the Caribbean. You can see the Caribbean right there. They both have their advantages. If you want cooler air, the Atlantic's better because you got more wind generally all year round than you do in the Caribbean side. Caribbean side's real nice for swimming. Of course, you're so close to the, you can literally walk in Frigate Bay to the Caribbean side. That's how close you are to the Caribbean and the Atlantic. You can walk to either one of them. The nice thing too about St. Kitts, they have, I'll walk up here while I'm talking. There's 3 passports now that are the top Caribbean passports now, and they are St. Kitts is 3rd, and then you've got you have 2nd is St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is very, very close in visa-free travel to St. Kitts, and then you got Barbados next. They're all 3 pretty close in visa-free travel. The big thing about St. Kitts and Nevis is you don't have to, you can get the passport really quick. The other ones are going to take you at least 9 years before you can apply with St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and you're looking at least 5 or 6 years with Barbados. Now, if you want the course fast, then you would want to go with St. Kitts and Nevis. There is something that you need to know too, is your government fee with St. Kitts is only like $25,000 for one person on the real estate option. And then, depending on how many family members you got, it goes up from there. But the key is you get this fast, and there's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate or inheritance tax in St. Kitts or Nevis. St. Kitts is better than Nevis for many, many reasons. I've got other videos on that. The cost factor It's cheaper to live. Everything has, in St. Kitts versus Nevis, everything runs through here, and there's extra freight going over to Nevis. That cost factor is a lot higher on everything that's added to food and everything. So you got to look at that. And a lot of people try to boil down to is St. Kitts better than Antigua? Okay, I'll give you some facts and then you can make a decision from there. Also, you're going to get, that's another factor, which I always tell people because they don't they don't listen a lot of times. When you get places that are not in gate, when I say gated areas, I'm not talking about walls around a house. I'm talking about the whole subdivision is gated. You have problems with barking dogs like this here. And somebody's walking at night with a dog, see a grasshopper, you know, hopping around 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're next door or down the street and you hear that bark. That's when you'll start noticing what I'm telling you. Gated areas have restrictions. Now, there's 3 gated areas in St. Kitts. Of the 3 gated areas, only one of them does not allow dogs. It does allow cats because cats can't bark. Okay, and that's Sunrise Hills Villas. Sunrise Hills Villas. That's the only one that you won't have barking dog problems as far as the gated area. The other 2 do allow dogs. They do have restrictions somewhat on noise factor, but when you make it where no dogs are allowed, what happens is it gets your noise factor almost down to nothing. Here's also a house we've got listed for sale here. Most of these houses in here are going to run you at least $600,000, I would say up to $1.7 million. Depends on the $600,000 would be very, very, very low. You would have one that would be in really bad shape to be $600,000. Most of them are going to run you around at least $700,000 or $800,000, and that's if you can find one at that price. But again, all of these are titled. But this is the key. You got to remember, just because it's titled doesn't mean it qualifies for citizenship. It has to go through a vetting process. And what that vetting process is, the owner of the house has to get it approved through the Board of Governors in St. Kitts. And what that does is they get an appraisal done on it to make sure it qualifies at least for the minimum limit, $600,000 US, which is the minimum under the home program to qualify for citizenship. For a single family home, for a condo, it's $325,000. And what they do is they make you get an appraisal, and also you have to get a survey done on it. And it's about a year process to get it approved, 8 months to a year to get it approved. So they want to make sure that what you're getting is what you're getting, okay? And so they're pretty strict on that. And plus you have to get what's called a certified copy of your title. And that's all that's needed. And then you can get once you buy it, you can requalify it yourself for citizenship. They just don't want torn up houses. They want to make sure that somebody's gone in there and appraised it for the right price. And that way you know what you're getting is what you're getting. Okay, they used to didn't do that, but they do it now. Of course, when the home program came out, they did have a process, but they didn't have the parameters they've got right now, the strictness. And now they've also got an escrow system here too, where money has to stay in the escrow account. If it's already built, it stays in the escrow account until the citizenship is approved. So you don't have any, and that's done through, several banks can handle that for you. And once that's set up, we actually handle that for you with the bank itself. That way you don't have problems with getting properties. And as you'll notice, all of these have walls on them, which means they're probably going to have dogs in here. Okay. And so you can hear them right now that I'm coming up on. So these are things, and some people are immune to it. I mean, some people can listen to roosters all day long, and it goes in one ear and out the other. And you don't have roosters up here, but you will have dogs. But when I was in the Philippines, man, every Filipino is used to having roosters. It just doesn't bother them at all. Even if it starts barking at or crowing at 2 o'clock in the morning. But this is something you're going to have to get used to and dealing with. And also, when you have loads of walled areas like this, you also have to be concerned with. You got to be concerned with. Did somebody leave their gate open and 2 pit bulls come out? You know, that's one thing nice about gated areas. You don't ever have that issue. They're real strict on stuff like that. Everybody's different on how they control their animals, and remember, this is different. The laws here than St. Kitts. Your laws are a lot more lax. So, you know, if you're used to Germany or the U.S., we just pick the phone up and call the police, and the police come out and tell the people to keep the dogs inside. It's more like a daisical here, and it can be a headache. So when you pick places, you know, that where the government, there's 2 sides of the government being lax. One is it's great for your business, but when you have dog problems and things like that, it could be a pain in the neck trying to get the police to get these dogs and shut them up. So, you know, every place has its advantages. But that being said, I like I like St. Kitts a lot better than these other countries that have just over stringently, you know, laws and stuff, like on your business and everything. You know, you don't have that here. It's a real total breath of fresh air when you come to a place like this, and you can deal with that. You can see they got a water tank up here on the hill, and that water feeds off that tank there. So that's how that works. Now, some things that you need to know about St. Kitts when you come to St. Kitts and you're looking. And one other thing before I get started on that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Nevis, because we have a lot of people, and I did this too when I first came down. They want to know, you know, what's Nevis? I mean, what's the difference? I'm just going to give you a few quickies. It will save you a lot of time when you come to St. Kitts. But Nevis has got around 10,000 people. The population of St. Kitts is around 40,000. So everything that you get on all your services, like plumbers, electricians, carpenters, no matter what it is, you're going to have 4 times more people in Nevis than St. Kitts. In St. Kitts than Nevis, because of the population. So you're going to have a lot more people to choose from that you can decide, you know, because I'll tell you something, when it comes down to plumbers, and the culture is different here. And what you're going to find out is sometimes people don't show up, and you're going to have to get used to that. But you got 4 times more people to choose from, then it makes it life a lot easier. And you don't have to fret so much when you got a lot of competition. You're not going to get that in smaller populated areas. These are things that people don't think about. Also, if you got a business, you got about 4 times more people to choose from for your business, which makes it a lot better for your business because your quality of people can be better. Your cost factor in hiring the people can be more competitive on what you actually want to pay out because you got more people to choose from to work for your company. These are things that people just don't think about. And also, it's a lot harder to resell your property because most people move to St. Kitts versus Nevis. And that's something you really need to think about when you resell. Also, when you're going to doctors, you want to be able to pick a good doctor. And you want as many doctors and dentists as you can choose. And you're going to have more in St. Kitts than Nevis, okay? Also, if you like to go out and party and stuff, what you're going to find out is the Strip is the most popular place in Nevis or St. Kitts, and it's way over here, right where the Caribbean Ocean is, over that apartment complex. And people come over all the way from Nevis to St. Kitts to go to that at nighttime. They spend the night over here because the ferries close down about 5 or 6 o'clock. So if you're going to party, you're going to have to stay with a friend, or you're going to have to pay for a hotel. And that is the place in St. Kitts or Nevis if you want to really have some really different types of music and stuff. And so that's something you need to take in consideration. Again, folks, if you can help us out on our algorithm or channel, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. And I would like for you to hit that subscribe button. You get all these videos automatically as they come out. And please pass this video to your friends if you like, and give us a thumbs up. It really helps out in getting more videos out to people on the algorithm of our channel. So if you can do that for us, I would really appreciate it. Okay, if you got any more questions, just contact us again at www.citizenshipquickly.com and just ask for some help, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.